The question to ask about zoos is whether they have a role to play in modern society, in the sense that if we can watch a documentary about tigers or elephants or lions, or even visit a safari park in Africa and see the animals up close, is there any point in keeping animals in captivity in a zoo far away from their natural habitat? Big animals such as lions, tigers, elephants, they are used to living in the wild, roaming around in their natural environment, which can be the savannah or the jungle. So if you take them away from their natural environment and confine them in spaces which are very small, very cramped, and they are cooped up in a cage more or less, then this is absolutely appalling because they cannot enjoy their natural habitat, nor do they have the space to move around freely. If you take a polar bear away from its natural habitat, which is the Arctic region, the North Pole, and you put it in a zoo where the climatic conditions are completely different and the summers are too hot and the winters are not cold enough, then the polar bear is deprived of their natural habitat and their natural way of life, which may involve hunting other animals. Polar bears are predators, they hunt for a living. And if you don't give them that opportunity, you deprive them of the necessary physical and mental stimulation that they need. If you look at the pond in a zoo where the polar bear is allowed to swim, it cannot possibly compare in size to the ocean, nor does the white wall around which it walks compare in size to the vast expanses of snow. Animals that are deprived of their natural habitat may show signs of distress. This means that they exhibit behavior which is very, in a sense, abnormal. For example, they may repeat the same actions again and again, or pace to and fro aimlessly because they do not have a purpose, they cannot hunt their prey, or they may stare blindly ahead because there is nothing to see. They cannot sort of scan the horizon for a fox or a seal. As a result, they sit listlessly in a corner because they have nothing to do. This kind of behavior shows uh, extreme cruelty towards the animals. However, if looked at from a different point of view, not all zoos exhibit this level of cruelty towards the animals. In fact, many, very few zoos today warrant this sort of criticism. This sort of criticism is unwarranted. It is unjustified in the sense that many of the modern zoos are a sanctuary for animals, a way to preserve endangered species and protect animals which are in danger of becoming extinct because of habitat loss and poaching and climate change as well. In fact, many of the enclosures today uh, try to offer the animals conditions which approximate those of their natural habitat. This is done, for example, by trying to imitate, simulate the conditions of the jungle or the savannah or perhaps the desert, so that animals live in an environment which approximates that of their natural habitat. There might be, for example, lakes or trees that they can climb, or very tall trees, for example, for giraffes, which they can reach with their tall neck for food, or hills that they can climb as well. And of course, they are quite spacious, with a lot of space for the animals to move around, so that they don't feel confined and they are not under distress. Another vital role that zoos play is that they protect wild animals from poachers and from illegal traffickers. Uh, many species have almost become extinct because they are being hunted for their animal parts, or because they are sold to rich and wealthy people in all over the world. For example, elephants are hunted for their ivory tusks, and tigers for their hide, their skin, which is made into rugs to decorate living rooms. Um, Orangutans are hunted because they are taken into private zoos. This horrific practice has to stop. In that respect, zoos, in a sense, ensure the survival of many animal species. Many breeding programs and a panda's daily diet consists of bamboo leaves, bamboo shoots, stems, bamboo. Now, what is happening in China, however, is that many natural forests have been cleared for agriculture or for timber, or for land development, which means that the habitats of pandas are dramatically shrinking. A breeding program in a zoo is a way to preserve this animal species, as well as many others. Much of the criticism against zoos is many times unjustified and unwarranted, because the staff that work there, they have to be highly qualified. The zookeepers that work there, they need degrees in biology or related subjects. In this way, a very high standard of care is maintained for the animals. Apart from that, many zoos today, they have to go through a very rigorous accreditation process, which means that they are checked and certified by a governing body. And this certification, this accreditation process means that they have to maintain a very high standard of care in order to be accredited. And let's not forget that zoos can be great fun for the children and the whole family. They do have an educational value. Many children have never seen a wild animal, and perhaps they would never be able to see up close a wild animal unless they go to a zoo. The zoos provide them with the opportunity to interact with the animals. They provide them hands-on experience. It's a very multisensory approach to learning, since the children use all their senses when they come in contact with animals. Um, they can touch it, they can smell it, they can hear the sounds it makes. So that brings them much closer to animals. And of course, they become aware of the fact that they are not the only living species on the earth. Everybody has, all animal species have the right to be here. So it raises awareness of the importance of preservation and conservation.